Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, we'll have our official welcome in just a few moments here from our District Governor-elect Mike Ruby, but in the meantime, I wanted to welcome everyone to the webinar. And if you have any questions in advance, if you're having a technical problem, please feel free, as the email stated or the screen said, to text me at 414-412-6147 if you have technical questions or you can't connect. But we'll begin in just a few moments. Thank you.
And John, you might want to repeat that number too in a couple of minutes.
Sure. And actually, for all of you on the line right now, if you are having any technical issues, I'm going to put it right here on the agenda, which you should see on the screen.
Okay, it looks like we got 23 so far. Let's wait another couple of minutes. Okay, I will begin in 1 minute. Okay, it looks like we're getting some last-minute people logged on. Okay, John, are we good to go?
I think we're ready to go. Mike, take it away.
Okay, thank you, John. Well, I certainly want to welcome all of you who have tuned into tonight's webinar. For some of you, this may be the first time that you have been on a Rotary-related webinar. My name is Mike Ruby. My picture should be on the screen right now. I am a member of the Rotary Club of Muscatine, and it will be my pleasure to serve as your district governor next year. I have been in Rotary for about 37 or 38 years, have been fairly active on the district level just for about 10 years or so. I have been in your shoes. I want to assure you of that. I have served as club president twice, and I know what some of the jitters that you may be experiencing right now, some of the questions that you have. And we are going to hopefully answer a lot of those questions this evening, as well as when you get to Pets in Ames in just 4 weeks, that you will be able to get a lot more of your questions answered. I want to thank you so much for joining the webinar tonight. So far we have 35 president-elects or assistant governors online, and I just appreciate that so much. And I want to express my appreciation to you for serving as president of your Rotary Club for next year. It's quite a commitment. There's no question about it. It is hard work, but it is very, very rewarding. And I just am excited for you. And let me tell you, you have a lot more resources and a lot more pre-planning just like tonight than many of the president-elects of several years ago. So we are pleased to offer you this service, and we want you to take advantage of it. It's going to be so much fun to be able to meet all of you in person in 4 weeks. I've met many of you. As you well know, that my wife Joanne and I, we have visited many of your clubs. In fact, we have visited 44 of them in the last 3 or 4 months. We will have about 8 more done by the time PETS begins, and then the rest of them, up to 65, that's how many clubs we have, my wife and I will be visiting all of those clubs. So every single one of the 65 clubs I will be in, and to greet you and to bring our greetings. So now I'm going to turn it over to our district trainer. His name is John Schultz. He's based very close to Cedar Rapids, and he has been the district trainer for 2 years and starting his 3rd year. So John, I'm going to turn it over to you right now. John, are you there?
Oh, I am. I had myself on mute so you didn't hear me in the background.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I would like to be the second person tonight to officially thank you for serving in your role as club president this coming year. I'm actually very keenly aware of this role right now. I am currently serving as club president for the Rotary Club of Mount Vernon-Lisbon, in addition to serving as your district trainer here in District 6000. Our hope for tonight is to keep this webinar very concise, very direct, so you know it is also being recorded, and so we will be able to send this link to you at the completion of the webinar if you want to review any of the materials before we get up to Ames and do our training there in March. So just several housekeeping items before we get started with the content of tonight's program. The first piece of information is that this is a webinar. It's not a meeting format. It's more of a one-directional format of information. That being said, there are a couple of ways you can communicate with District Governor-elect Ruby or myself during the session tonight. The first is you'll see on the bottom of your box with your information for the webinar tonight, there is a chat function. If you have a question for one of the two of us you'd like us to answer for the whole group, or if you have a specific question for you, you can type a question into that chat box and we will receive that. The other thing you can do to alert us that you have a question is you should have a little hand you can click on and raise. It should say raised hand when you hover over it. If you click that, I can unmute you if you have a question. For tonight's purposes, using the chat box is probably the best. But if you do need to ask something in person, raise your hand and I can unmute you for that. As I said, this would be a recording, so if you feel you're getting a lot of information tonight, you will be able to review that. We try our best not to overlap training concepts and modules too much so that you're not receiving the information over and over again. We really want to respect your time. But if you do have questions at the completion of tonight's webinar, you'll see on our agenda here that we do have our contact information by emails. And over the course of tonight, you're going to learn also how to reach out to various district chairs and district leadership by yourself using websites and such. So with that housekeeping done, I wanted to start by going over the President's Manual. For those of you that haven't seen this yet or don't know it exists, this is sort of your first entry-level guide to your role as President. And so right here there's a link on the agenda for tonight that shows you how to get to it online. You may also simply Google Rotary President's Manual. So if you go to your web browser and you just type in Rotary President, there it is, I looked it up before, and you Google it, it will pull that right up for you. It's the top thing on the list. So if you ever need to reference this guide, if you don't have your paper guide, or your paper version, which you will get in Ames, you can always find it online very easily. What I also want to show you right now is that you can download this. I'm going to try, and I have it attached as a handout for tonight. So I'm going to try and launch that as a handout here. I believe if you go to handouts, you should be able to download that on the sidebar of your screen. So if you can reach over there and download that right off your sidebar of the webinar tonight. Or you can go online and you can download that in a PDF form. Just to confirm, you will be getting a hard copy of this at Ames with a very comprehensive binder of information that our great district administrator, Carolyn Scharf, puts together for each president-elect. What we're going to do is we're just going to quickly go over the manual. I'm not going to take more than a few moments to do that, though, because you'd really be best served to download this, print it out if you wish, and read over it once before getting to Ames. But just so you know what's inside of it, it's going to cover essentially all the different aspects of running a club as president and the structure, which you'll be able to break it down. So it's going to talk a little bit about the dues that are due to Rotary International. I'm going to see if I can get down the contents here. So as you're starting your journey right now, or continuing it if you've already started your planning, it'll give you a good club leadership plan, strategic planning, etc. you can read through. Once you get into your role as president, it's going to give you all sorts of helpful hints and guidelines about day-to-day club management as you take on that role. Some different leadership techniques and different leadership ideas as you lead a team of people to have a fantastic year. How to encourage and how to really promote the vibrance of your membership. Promoting Rotary at large, and we're going to talk about some of these as we go on. The foundation, which is our critical $1 billion financing arm that lets us do the work we do in large part financially. And then the projects you do within your own club. So it breaks it down into those nice sections. I would recommend, and we will hope that you have read that before you arrive in Ames. Mike, is there anything else you'd like me to cover about that President's Manual? Just want to make sure I don't forget anything.
No, I just want to reiterate that I really encourage the president-elects and any president nominees who may be online to download it, to just get familiar with it, so you're able to just kind of work through it and you know what is in there. Then when you get your hard copy in Ames, you will already be familiar with it, and then you can start making some notes and bookmark some things and stuff like that.
Thank you, Mike. So the next part of our session is going to be online resources, and this is really where you're going to be able to find a plethora of information to make your year successful. Rotary International has done a great job placing content online so it's easily accessible by Rotarians like yourself around the world. So we're going to start by going to Rotary.org. This is the international homepage that all Rotarians can use, can find. It's a great hub of information. They've adapted a new website just recently. People of Action is the call to action that they have in their headline here on the website. So when you go to Rotary.org, this is the first site you will go to. You'll notice, if you can follow my cursor up here, it's My Rotary. Now everything on this initial landing page is meant for the general public and Rotarians, but we're going to talk now about My Rotary, and this is the specific area where there's going to be information for you as a Rotarian, and especially you as a club leader now. So we're going to go to the next level. As we go into My Rotary, you will need to create a login. And now I'm going to launch a poll right now, and there's some polls we're going to take through the night. So I'm going to launch this poll, and I'd like you to give a response. I'm going to ask, have you created a profile and logged on to Rotary.org? So I'm going to go ahead and launch that right now, and please select an answer if you would. Okay, so as the votes are coming in, it's looking like we're about 60% have gone on and created a profile and logged on, which is fantastic. We're seeing that average go up every year. There still is about a quarter of the district that has not, and we have about 10 to 13% that is not sure if they've logged on and created a profile. Now I want to create one point of clarification. Many of your clubs will use Club Runner, and Club Runner integrates at some level with My Rotary and Rotary.org, but not exclusively. So it's very important that you as a club leader and use a club administrator create a profile specifically on My Rotary. And we'll talk about that in a moment because this will be important as you have to enter goals. Okay, so now that we're on My Rotary, and we'll assume that you've created an account. And what I want to say is that if you have, I'm going to close this here because we have gotten our answers. As you create your login and go to myrotary.org here, you're going to find that there's a lot of information specifically relating to your experience as a Rotarian. And what you'll have is your profile that you created, and those of you that are on Facebook and have other social media, The profile is very similar. I'm going to show you what mine looks like here just so you can see what it builds out as. Now there's a lot more information here that's used internally through Rotary International than the general public, and when I say general public, I mean other Rotarians, will be able to see. So it's a good way of tracking what you've done in Rotary so far. You can enter a picture. It'll enter your mailing address, your business address if you have it, other information about you, so when they want to send pins and such to your club for membership and pins for different foundation recognition, they'll have that address and information on file. It shows the various things you've done through Rotary, and then it shows some of your professional skills. And if you've done something with Rotary programs, like I was a member of a group study exchange to Taiwan back in 2009, and you can identify some interests you have and a little blurb. The other important thing is it shows your date of birth so we can track the metrics of who we are as Rotarians. Looks like we have a question I'm going to check quickly here. Right, can we find out, so Brian asks, can we find out which members of our club have a My Rotary profile? Can we, for example, search by club? I believe we are able to find that out as a district, and so as a club president, if you have a specific question about that, talk to your assistant governor about that, and then they can relay that back to Carolyn Sharp, our district administrator. I believe she is able to query that for individual clubs. I don't want to say that for certain, but I believe that is the case. So thank you for that question, Brian. That's a good one. So that's the profile, and that's important to create that profile so that you are able to log in and enter your goals. The next aspect of the My Rotary page is creating your goals. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to go back one page. And when you go to the My Rotary landing page, it'll take me just a second to go back. There are a couple of different features I want to point out. First, it'll give an overview of your club. If your club has a website, it'll list that, the meeting location, the number of members. As you can see, the Mount Vernon Lisbon Club, I always call it the Strong But Mighty Club. But most importantly, I want you to look right here where it is highlighted. That is Rotary Club Central. That is where you're going to enter your goals. Either you or your secretary need to be doing that and talking about that. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And then you can also get to that same link on the side here for online tools, Rotary Club Central. So what I'm going to do now is show you what it looks like if you go to Club Goals. And I already opened that to save some time. So when you click on Rotary Club Central, this is the page it'll pull up. Now think of it as there are three different ways you can see the numbers and see the service. On the right side of the screen here, you can see the club view, the district view, or the global view. I have a couple of other features here because I am also the membership chair in District 5970, so yours won't look quite as complex as this, but essentially you'll be able to see club view, district view, global view, and I believe you also have a club group view, which will be the area of clubs you're associated with your assistant governor. You'll be able to pull on resources within that, and then you can also generate reports based on what you want to see. Now this is the thing I want you to start looking at and understanding and logging into to see. You have all of your club's goals listed in this area. So you can see over the past several years the membership trends in the club. You can see the goal for this year, and you will have to actually go in and set these. It's critical that you take time to do that before your year begins. So you'll have to go in and create the goals, and I'll show you in just a moment how to do that. And you'll see right here there's this edit button. So we'll start here with goals in progress for membership. To enter in, I'm going to go to 16-17 because that's the year we're in. I think I was looking to your head. And by the way, the 17-18 is the tab you would want to modify right there. So our club president-elect, Gene Johnston, is going to be entering his goals using that tab, and so will you. Mine as club president this year have been entered in the 16-17. Because this is a custom and proprietary system that Rotary International built, it sometimes does take just a moment for it to click over. But I want to take the time to show you exactly how to enter in these goals because it is quite simple. And again, it is critical that you do this. There we go. So these are the goals for this year for our club. So to edit a goal and to change it, so our goal for membership this year is to get up to 17. We're currently at 15. If I want to change that number, I click Edit. And by the way, while this is loading, I want to encourage you to start logging in and looking at this. As long as you don't hit save, you can play around with the features and the information doesn't save. So if you are playing on this system and you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, just always click cancel at the bottom of the screen as right here. Because once you save, it does make it official in the system. You can always update it. Now let's say I want to change my goal to 19 members. All I have to do is highlight the box and type in 19. And if I want to change it, I can change it back to 17. So that's as easy as it is to set your goals. When you want to set that, you can hit save. If you don't like what you've entered and you're not sure you want to save what you have there, hit cancel. But I'll say save. It'll update the information, and that's then available to Rotary International, to you and other executives within your club, such as your club president-elect, and then also your club secretary. So those are the people that are able to see, access, everyone can see the goals, by the way. All the club members can see the goals, but the people who can access and edit them are the club president, president-elect, and club secretary. As I said, there's the couple of different views you can see. You can see all this information from your club, from your district, and from international. There is then the three sections. There's your club, which is specific items relating generally to membership in your club. It'll have questions like, are you participating in service activities? Are you members of Rotarian action groups like the Reg for Club Foot? Do you have Rotarians in fellowships like the RV Fellowship or the Cycling Fellowship? And then it'll ask if you have members, committee chairs attending the district assembly. So it'll ask you these basic questions that you want to make a goal to have a certain number of people attend these things, but also then follow up, because these don't fill in automatically for the most part. So you'll have to have an action plan as a president to make sure that information gets updated. Club communication and public relations is also underneath this first tab. We also strongly recommend that as your year begins, you update these goals, and the progress towards them often and regularly is as soon as you have information, because we can track this as a district and internationally, especially from a membership standpoint through the year. And when you look at our membership trends, they go up, up, and up through the year, then all of a sudden they drop the last few weeks of every Rotary year at the end of June, because people clear their rosters before the next year's dues, because semi-annual dues become payable. And so it's important that you update that so that we understand from a membership share and from a district leadership perspective where we are with our district, so we can help address problems if they surface. The next tab is service. And that's going to show things like doing community service projects. It's going to show things like working with youth programs. It's going to show all those things. And for the sake of time, just because it's loading a little bit slow, oh, there it goes. So here you can see the different projects and activities we've done. Your progress towards the presidential citation goal, which you'll hear a lot about when we get to AIMS for our training. And then if you've done service projects throughout the year as part of your club. And then, of course, very importantly, in our centennial of the foundation, we have the foundation giving tab, which overviews the contributions your club and if you look at the district and internationally, we've made towards our foundation. And again, the editing features are exactly the same. You pick your year, which will be 17-18, click edit, and you can update your goals. So you'll have a chance to see that again up in AIMS, but I would encourage you to make sure you log in, create your profile, and spend some time getting comfortable with this before getting to AIMS. And you'll hear us say it a few times tonight, but if you have not, please make sure to start talking with your board about your goals for the year. Read the goals that are in place this current year and think about how you want to increase in a reasonable way and in a way that challenges you as a leader to improve your club and to enter those goals. The next website I want to show you is our district. Oh, actually, before we do that, there's one thing I want to show you. Also on Rotary.org, there is a fantastic resource center for things like developing logos for your club. So if you want to create a new brochure or a new club, I want to show you how easy this is to get a very professional looking logo that with this template will fit the Rotary International public image profile. And let's say you want to create a new club logo. It comes with our brand new master brand, and then you just simply enter the text. Let's say you have the Rotary Club of, let's say, Awesome Town. So then you can create your very own logo for your Awesome Town, and you can change the way it looks. If you want to change the way that it features, you can move the logo around. You can put your information on the opposite side. You can save it, and it saves it at a high quality EPS. It'll save it as a JPEG or a PDF, those different formats depending on the print style you use. We also use a different logo depending on what kind of print we're using. So if it's online or on a t-shirt, we use the simplified rotary wheel, which does not have the print inside. But if you're going to use on a larger profile or you're going to use it for print, it does have Rotary International inside. And so that's the way you'd use those two. And you'll learn more about public image as we get to our training in Ames. Finally, for online training, I want to show you our fantastic District 6000 website that was updated last year. It has our current governor extraordinaire, Chris Knapp and Burnett, listed on the front page and all sorts of news about what they're doing in the year. Very, very, very importantly, I want you to note all the district events. I'm sure many of you have already used these links, but it's very important you utilize the site to sign up for example, Grant Management Seminar, which is coming up soon, to be eligible to apply for a grant. We're going to talk about these later in the webinar, but I just wanted to point this out on the website. Also, if you're not sure who might be, for example, our Youth Exchange Chair, you can go here and you can look at where the clubs are, the club directory and contacts, which, by the way, I do want to point out, when you're in Ames, we will be taking your photo for this club directory, and it'll have you listed as a president, and you'll see that they should have pictures. I'm not sure where they are. There we go. There's Carmen. These pictures will be listed, and they're also going to be in our printed membership directory that you will also be receiving at the beginning of your year. So this is the District 6000 website. It has events. It has our listing, our leadership directory, which I'm going to scroll down the side here. This is like I said, a plethora of information. It'll have the district governor's visit, which you'll hear about. Here's the leadership directory right here. You click on that, and if you want to know who is leading any particular program, you can see right here. And this is a copy, exactly a PDF of what you'll get when you begin your year. But this is the 16-17 leadership directory. If we scroll down, sorry for making anyone seasick by scrolling so quickly, we will get to all the assistant governors, and then also we get to each club president. So your picture will be listed in this. And again, we do take your picture up in Ames, so do expect that to happen. Let's see, I'm going to go back to our agenda to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then Shop Rotary is also a place where you can get print media. So if you want a vibrant club pamphlet, if you want to get the official Rotary docket on Foundation, you can buy all that there. It's also always available for print for free if you want to use your own printer or have it printed in another source, but they do have a Shop Rotary feature. We talked about the District 6000 website, and I think we covered all of that. So I'm going to just, I'll pass on that for now for the sake of time, and I will turn the reins back over to District Governor-elect Mike Ruby unless there's anything else you'd like me to cover about technology.
Thank you, John. I want to assure all of you that there is a very large support staff on the district level who are ready, willing, and able to be your coach, to be your mentor, to be your cheerleaders, and to be able to help you network with others so that you will have one of the most memorable years of your life. I do want to introduce some of these people. The first picture on the screen, many of you are familiar with, and that is our current district governor, Chris Knapp, and his wife, Burnett. They have been in all 65 clubs this fall. You probably recognize that couple. And then, of course, as I introduced myself earlier, my name is Mike Ruby, and I am currently serving as the district governor-elect. I would be the one in the middle, not to be mixed up with those beautiful people on the left and the right. And then the district governor who will be following me is Tom Nerick from the Rotary Club of West Des Moines. And you see his picture on the screen now. And then the district governor who will be following Tom Nerick is Erna Moraine from the Des Moines area. And she will be district governor in about 3 years. And that is Erna and her husband, Steve. In addition to that leadership, all of you have assigned to you assistant governors. There are 16 different areas in our district, and each area has either 4, 5, or sometimes 6 clubs. The lady on the right that you see on your screen now, her name is Susan Herrick. She is a member of the Rotary Club of Boone, and she is the overall coordinator of all 16 area governors or assistant governors, and she is a very valuable resource. She is not able to be on tonight's call because of another commitment that had been on the calendar for quite some time. But you will meet all of these people, including Susan, all of those that were just pictured. All of them will be at PETS, and you will be able to get to know them personally. And then John did just mention that we have on the left here is Carolyn Scharf. We have a district office located in Pella, and Carolyn Scharf has been our part-time district administrative assistant for several years now, very capable. She's the one that is on the other end, the friendly voice when you call the district office. And she will definitely be there also in Ames. Going on in the agenda in item number 6 talks about Know Your Club. The next 5 months are going to go very, very quickly for you. And now is the time for you to get acquainted where your club is now, and to start making some plans for when your year kicks off on July 1. Folks, believe me, it's going to be here quicker than what you think. You all will have a board. Some of you have very, very active boards. Others of you probably need to do some work on that. But there are 2 very, very key positions on all Rotary Club boards, and that would be the secretary and the treasurer. In most cases, those positions do not change every year. Some clubs have had the same secretary or the same treasurer for many years. Some clubs combine that position into one. But it does talk about what key positions, what do they do, what are they responsible for, and how can they help you make the very most of your year as president. You do need to know where the important documents and information on your club, where they are kept, the bylaws, the charter, your meeting minutes, the financial records, official membership records, a lot of the archives. It is your responsibility to at least know where they are, so that they are together and they are accessible to others. There are board positions that you need to be thinking about right now. I can think of about 7 functions. It could be 7 different Rotarians, or it could be only 5 different Rotarians doing 7 different functions. But on your board would be your president, which will be you effective July 1. It should be your president-elect, the one who is going to follow you, and that person should be selected very, very soon. Many of you have already selected your president for 18-19, and I congratulate you for that. And we are strongly encouraging president nominees to also attend PETS. You need the secretary on your board, the treasurer on your board, and we strongly recommend your membership chair, your foundation chair, and your public image chair. You may want to add others, but but those would be the basic positions and areas that need to be covered. Now is the time for you to just be toying around with some ideas about some projects that you would like to do. Do not wait until July to start thinking about the projects that you want to do. There are 3 different areas of projects that you need to be aware of. Number 1 would just be a local project, no grant money, just something that your club is doing. You might be running a food stand. You might be purchasing the dictionaries for the 3rd graders. You might be doing a town clock or a park bench or something like that. That is totally in-house. You raise the full funding for it, and your club takes care of it. But you go on down to the next item, C, in the agenda there, and that is using the foundation. And that is when you would do some projects that would either be partially funded by a community service grant, or if you want to do a project maybe on a larger scale internationally, then those are called global grants. You will find more information out about these grants at the grant management seminars, which John is going to talk about in just a few minutes. You do need to know and be thinking now about the very basics of how to run your club meeting. Let me tell you that you, as the president, set the stage for the hour-long meeting. And if you come in very well prepared, also being flexible, and you know just what you want to do and the order, that's ideal. And if you come in very unprepared, have not thought through the agenda for that next hour, it's going to be very, very noticeable. And you'll have a chance, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that at PETS. And then it talks about what are the major programs in your club and who are the chairs. Now is the time. Think about getting these chairs in place and the type of programs that you want to do. We strongly recommend that every club do some kind of a self-assessment or a self-evaluation during their first quarter of the new year, which would be either July, August, or September, so that everybody's on board. You have asked for input from the club members, the whole board, or if the club is a manageable size, they can give all kinds of input for a self-assessment. So you just kind of know, are you on track? If you are not on track, well, it'll show you clearly what to do to get back on. And at PETS, we will show you some tools that you can use for a club self-assessment. Many of your clubs have taken advantage of the visioning program, where typically on a Saturday for maybe 3 hours, one of our district leaders will come into your club and do a very, very intensive training, a visioning exercise of where do you want to be in 5 years and how do you get from here to there. Many of your clubs have done this over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, and some are now ready to have that district leader come back and do another visioning process with you. For you out there whose clubs have not taken advantage of this fantastic resource, I strongly recommend that you do that, and more information will be available at PETS in Ames. So if there are no questions, I will turn it back over to John Schultz.
Thank you very much, Mike. We actually do have one question in from Tara Conley. Tara, I'm going to unmute you here so you can ask your question. Tara, you should be live. Tara, are you there? Okay, I'm going to move on Tara, I'll check back in a little bit later. All right, or Tara, if you're still on the line, what you can do is you can type your question in the chat box and we'll address it there as well. So as District Governor-elect Mike had mentioned, there are several really, really important events for you in your year as president. The first and foremost is coming up very quickly here is our grant management seminar series. The reason this is important is because your club will not be eligible to apply for a district grant or a global grant for that matter if you do not attend one of these seminars. Now, you do not personally have to attend this seminar, but someone who is going to take the reins on the grant process from your club must attend. Okay, sorry, I'm just taking a break to read Tara's comment. Yeah, Tara, I'm sorry you're having, if you want to just type the question, I can address it there with the whole group in a moment. But I want to make the point to all of you that it's important that you register for one of these sessions and someone from your club attends if you wish to write a grant for your year. That process needs to begin now to start visioning your grant and start thinking about what it is you want to do. The reason is, and Mike, you can correct me if I have the date wrong, I believe those proposals have to be in by June. Is that correct?
I really hate to give you a specific date. They will be very clearly stated at the grant management seminars, which the dates are listed at the bottom of your screen. I believe that's the date, but don't hold me to that until you get official word.
Great. And something to keep in mind is that we divide these up geographically throughout the district to try and limit the driving you have to pursue to get to these sessions. And so please do take advantage of them if you can on the dates. That said, you're welcome to attend any of the sessions throughout the district. Again, to register for them, you do that on the District 6000 website. And then we provide, it's free for all the attendees. And they are very informational and they're really a lot of fun. You get to hear about great projects that have been pursued, but also the specifics. The next event that it's very, very important you consider attending and having several people from your club attend is the district conference. This is the celebration of all the good work that's been done through the year. Our district governor-elect, Chris and Burnett, and a wonderful team have been putting together a great celebration here May 4th to 6th in Coralville. This is the same location where the district conference was 2 years prior to that with District Governor John Hockenfels. It's a great venue. Coralville is a great city. Please do consider coming out to the district conference. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be able to meet with lots of other like-minded people who are passionate about Rotary and try and get some folks that aren't just at the leadership level in your club, but maybe some new members to come and see what happens at the conference, because that inspires people, I believe, to want to take action and get to be part of the programs and participate. The next training session here that we're going to talk about is District Training Assembly. It's March 25th in Newton. This is right the day after this third and final grant management seminar. So some people like to come and do the grant management seminar on a Friday night and stay for training assembly. This is going to be in-depth training for you as a club president, other club leaders, and it's a highly informational training day for other folks in your club that want to learn about particular programs, whether it's youth programs or role as president or other programs like Rotaract and Interact and special district programs we have in our district like Hecotepec and in Iowa Mills. This is a great opportunity to learn about those programs. And this is in Newton. We provide a nice lunch. It's a full day training. You get to do a lot. I think we're planning on doing some group activities in that, so you'll be able to talk with other Rotarians that are passionate about programs you're interested to learn about. And then in the fall here, looking ahead, many people in the district have attended the One Rotary Summit event. That replaced what had been fall training. This is a new model of training that has come out, a new model of idea sharing and inspiration sharing that happens in the falls. This was launched by our current Rotary International Vice President in our zone area chair, Jennifer Jones. These happen in the fall. There's 2 of them that are coming up October 3rd and 12th. This is for everyone in your club. You should bring out everyone and friends that are thinking, close to joining Rotary and new members and people that have been in Rotary for 30 years. It's a great chance to sit across the table from people, hear about the projects they're doing. We talk about the 3 pillars of Rotary, our membership, public image, and foundation, and how those 3 aspects of Rotary work together to help us accomplish our philanthropic, our social, and our service needs through Rotary, and in how to get more out of our experience. So please do consider coming to these really excellent events. It's great to bring new people along that haven't been to them. If you haven't been out to these events, please do put them on your calendar now so you can enjoy and come out and see us. There is a question coming in. I'm going to open up here. Right. A couple of great questions. Whoa, we had a lot of questions. So let me just take a moment to go through these to make sure they're all addressed. Please just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so one person asked, is just our grant writers attendance sufficient? She's planning on going. Anyone from your club who's going to have an active role in the grant process can attend. And so it doesn't just have to be a club leader. She's planning on going but can't make it. Okay, yeah, that's right. If someone who's going to be involved with it can attend, that is the whole point, so that your club understands the rules and regulation. And it doesn't have to be the person writing the grant. That is helpful if it's the person taking lead, but it has to be someone involved. All right, so yes, Carolyn writes, they need to register for them. And Carolyn, if you could clarify, I'm not sure exactly what that question is. Feel free to write in one more time. Perhaps it's for an old topic. And then Past District Governor Jackie Andrew writes, if we've assessed all the people on the call. Okay, great. So here's a question. I'm going to launch a poll right now. Thanks for being patient as I read through those questions, everybody. I'm going to launch a poll right now about pets, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. And actually, why don't we have District Governor-elect Mike Ruby talk a little bit about President-elect training, and then I'll launch the poll, and we'll answer Jackie's question about who is currently registered for pets. So go ahead, Mike, take it over for what to expect at pets and what that's all about in Ames.
Okay. You are in for a real treat for the weekend of March 9, 10, and 11. Many of you have seen the initials NC Pets. NC stands for North Central. There will be 4 districts, 2 in Iowa and 1 in Minnesota and Wisconsin, who make up this multi-district pets training event. There will be probably upwards of 200 president-elects that will be just like you. They're there to learn. They're all in the same boat, and so that group the event starts on Thursday evening, March 9th, with kind of a reception and heavy hors d'oeuvres and a few announcements. It's a fantastic time for you to start meeting other president-elects, not just from District 6000, but from the other 3 districts that are represented. And then later on that evening, there is a Dine in Ames opportunity for you. And let me just give you just a couple-minute background of how this works. There are several restaurants in Ames who have agreed to work with Rotary to host Rotarians that have arrived for this conference for dinner for Thursday night. It's all Dutch treat. Everybody pays their own tab. When you show up on Thursday, there will be places to sign up. Of course, this is optional. You're not required to do this, but we encourage you to do this and take advantage of a wonderful opportunity that you can sign up, and it might say, well, this restaurant can take up to 18 people or whatever it is. You sign your name. They give the address of how to find the restaurant, and every one of these restaurants will have a Rotarian host. There are some assistant governors who are in contact with all of their president-elects, and if there's president nominees that are showing up, and they are decided to go as a group to a restaurant. So it would just be their own area president-elects and president nominees and their AG, and that is perfectly acceptable also. Friday morning on the 10th of March, is pretty much reserved for just District 6000 training. We will be off in a large conference room just by ourselves with District 6000 president-elects, president nominees, and the assistant governors. You will be seated at a round table with your assistant governor and listen to presentations like from John Schultz or from me or from a lot of different people. And then the assistant governor will help facilitate discussion and help you through this. You will get to know the other president-elects in your own area who will be at your table very, very well. But you also have all kinds of opportunities to network with those that are outside of your area. But that's kind of what happens on Friday morning. Friday afternoon, well, incidentally, throughout this whole PETS experience are some fantastic speakers that we are getting from through Rotary International, and you are in for a huge treat, and that is the Rotary International President-elect, which will be your Rotary International President, Ian and Juliet Risley, R-I-S-E-L-E-Y. They are from Melbourne, Australia, and they will be in Ames, along with 2 or 3 other very big names in Rotary. And we are so pleased with that, and you will probably possibly have the opportunity to not only talk with Ian Risley yourself, but maybe snap a quick picture. He's delightful, but he will not be there the entire 2.5 days. He's just in too much demand. And so he will be here for just a few hours. He'll be here for a dinner meeting and to be the keynote speaker, that type of thing, and then we whisk him off to the airport and he's off someplace else. But you are in for a real treat. Friday afternoon will be a lot of breakout sessions with a variety of Rotary President-elect topics, and they will be broken down according to club size, because clubs, let's say, that are 25 members, they have different issues. They have different challenges than a club of, let's say, of 120 members. So that is what will be Friday afternoon and continued on Saturday morning. And then I want to emphasize that there will be a final wrap-up on Saturday morning that begins around 11 o'clock. I don't have the exact schedule in front of me, and that is when all of you will come back into the room where you had your training with just District 6000 president-elects on Friday morning. You will come back on Saturday morning for about a 45-minute to a 1-hour wrap-up. It'll be just us. And it's a very valuable time. Do not miss it. Do not plan on jumping in the car at 11 o'clock on Saturday and race out of there. That final hour is crucial. There is no lunch served on Friday. I believe all of you will be able to be out of there by 12 noon or just very shortly afterwards, so you can plan on that. John, did you have some questions that were written in that you want to address at this time?
I do. So the first thing I want to say is Carolyn asked to remind us that there is no lunch on Saturday. So you'll be released before lunch on Saturday. So we will try and keep it right around noon so you can get some lunch on your way home or get home for lunch. Jackie Andrew, who is on the phone, past District Governor Jackie Andrew, is the leader of PET. She is the chair this year and has put just a phenomenal amount of work in pulling people together for an outstanding event, and you're going to get to meet 350 other presidents just like yourself, and I just want to reinforce the scope and the incredible work she's done to make this possible. One other comment from before, Carolyn Sharp wanted to again reinforce that as you register for any of these events, save for NC Pets, that has its own website, that you should go to our District 6000 website. So for the grant management seminar, go to our District 6000 website and you can find that, and you'll see it's up in front of us here in a second, right on the sidebar. So it's very important that you do visit that to register in advance here. I'm just seeing if there are any other questions. What I'd like to do, just to make sure, we did a couple of polls so we could take a temperature of how everyone's doing out there. I'm going to launch this poll right now. This poll is going to ask you is, are you signed up for pets yet? Which means, have you actually registered and done that? And have you registered for a hotel? Because they're two separate things. You have to register for the event and the hotel separately. So I'm going to launch this poll. Please do take it if you wouldn't mind. So please do select one of those options right there. While you're going through that poll right there, I also had a comment in from Rich Clan. He said, do you want to touch base on the International Convention? And I sure do. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's this year down in Atlanta. So if you want to kick your year off with a fantastic experience, the International Convention moves to a different location around the world every year. It is very close to home this year, being Atlanta. Current President of Rotary International, John Germ, is throwing a fantastic celebration. There should be approximately 40,000 Rotarians as part of that event. So any information you need to find on the International Conference is on our District 6000 website. It is on Rotary.org and can be found by simply Googling Rotary International Convention. So I want to, it looks like about 60% of us are either registered or don't need a hotel, so I'm assuming we are most of the way registered. And so thank you for registering for Pets in advance. It really helps them for planning. It's very important you participate in that. It is really the way to get the key training for your year. So if you have not registered yet, please do make sure you plan to be there in Ames. Yes, and thank you for making the effort to be there. All right, I have one other poll I wanted to launch. Thank you for bearing with us. This is going to help us just, again, get a better understanding. I'm going to close that poll there. Let's see here. Oh, the other question I wanted to ask is, have you met with or do you know your AG? So this is just the person that's going to be your connection to District Governor-elect Mike when he becomes District Governor. So I'm going to launch this poll. Please do let us know if you know who your Assistant Governor is and if you have met them, or if you're not sure. So please do take a moment and click on that link. Oh, that's encouraging. I saw Susan might have snuck in on the call. It's looking like we're about only 4% have not met them, and about a quarter are not sure if they've met their assistant governor, but we're looking really good for that. So everyone will meet their assistant governor at PETS, but if you have not met them yet, we'll look forward to introducing you them, if not before. So I'm going to pull back our agenda and make sure we didn't miss anything. We have, I would suspect, some time for questions. If there's any questions, I think we have one more hand raised. But it doesn't look like we do, actually. Mike, is there anything you wanted to address?
Just one reminder to all of the president-elects. We feel very strongly that it should be your individual clubs who will pick up the tab for your North Central Pets training. That way the club has a vested interest in your training, and at the very least the registration and the 1 or 2 nights of motels should be picked up by your club. Now, maybe you will be paying this up front and then they will reimburse you. But if any of you are having some problems with that, please draw that either to your AG's attention or to my attention. I just want to thank all of you so much for, and not just for being on tonight's call, because we hope that this is kind of a springboard for your first training event. But you are in for a very, very exciting year, and it is going to be work, and you are going to give a lot of yourself. But my advice is just to, take it a day at a time, have fun, and I think you will create a lot of really, really happy memories. You will see at the bottom of the screen, I think, or John will put that up quickly, you will see both my email address and John's email address. If there is a particular question that you have that that you might not think of right now, but you might, over the next 2 or 3 or 4 days, by all means, contact us, or we will forward that question on either to our Assistant Governor Coordinator, Susan Herrick, or whoever the appropriate person would be. John, can you put those email addresses up again on the screen? John, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. It should be back, right?
Yeah, clear at the bottom.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sorry I left that poll open, everyone.
And that is all that I have to say. John, if you've got any last minute things before we close, please proceed.
Sure. So Brian asks as well, can we get this agenda emailed? You bet. I think we can get that mailed out to all the president-elects. Because there is some nice outline on here, so we will get that emailed out to all of you with the recording and the link to the recording, I should say. And other than that, and the nominees. Thank you, Brian. That's great. Yeah, we'll mail it out to all of them that we have on file, as long as we have them on file. And if your club doesn't have a nominee on file yet, but you know that, make sure that you get that information in. But I want to again say thank you. I'm just finishing my year as club president, and it's been exceptional. It's still a joy and trials and everything in between. But thank you for your service this coming year. I know you're going to love it. So thanks for your time tonight as well.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks, everyone.